Hello everybody, this is Andrew, also known as NatureMan. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a special tour of some of my favorite landscaping trees at the local nursery that I work at. Here we go. Kindred Spirit Oak. Grows 40 foot tall by only 5 foot wide. Great as a street tree or as a screen. They stay extremely columnar. Royal Raindrops Crabapple. Has a deep pink flower in the spring, and beautiful red berries that shine on the tree in the winter that the birds love. Does not drop much at all, and it has kind of a darker, almost burgundy leaf through the summer months. Slender Silhouette Sweet Gum, an extremely columnar sweet gum, will grow 60 foot tall but stay only 5 foot wide. So the fruits drop right to the base, so the little prickly seed pods do not spread all over your yard, only right to the base of the tree, so they are not a mess. But they make a wonderful street tree or a screen because they're very, very narrow. Prairie Gold Quaking Aspen. It's an aspen that can grow into the deep south because it tolerates high humidity without getting fungal disease. So it can grow much further south than its traditional native range. Red Point Maple, one of the only red maples on the market to have resistance to chlorosis, meaning it can tolerate poor soils. It's more upright than a traditional red maple, so it only goes to like 25 foot wide by 35, 40 foot tall, instead of 60 by 40 of a traditional red maple. So an overall better tree for the landscape. France Fontaine Hornbeam, the most narrow hornbeam cultivar on the market. Can grow 30, 40 foot tall, but stay only 6 to 8 foot wide. So it's great as a screen or as a street tree. A much larger prairie gold aspen. You see it still gets the famous white bark as it ages, but this one grows to the south, so it tolerates the high heat and humidity better. Crimson Sunset Maple. It's an improved Crimson King maple. The Crimson King gets very wide with age, much too wide for most people's yards, and is invasive. This is a hybrid, so it is not invasive, and it stays a little bit narrow than the classic Crimson King. So it'll mature to about 35 by 25 at maturity instead of 50 by 40 or more of the traditional Crimson King, and it still has its deep burgundy leaves throughout the summer months. And then in the fall it turns a deep blood red. Sunburst Honey Locust. A honey locust variety, when in the spring all the foliage emerges deep golden yellow, so you have a bright golden yellow tree, turns lime green in the summer, then back to golden yellow in the fall. And this variety is seedless, so it does not produce the messy seed pods that honey locusts are infamous for. And like all cultivated honey locusts, it is thornless as well. Beautiful tiny leaves that never litter the yard because they're so small. It's a perfect urban landscaping tree. Winter King Hawthorn, one of the only hawthorns in existence that has truly high resistance to fungus, which can plague hawthorns. Beautiful white flowers in the spring, kind of a short but very wide growth, wonderful in the landscape. Here we have hydrangea trees. They're panicle hydrangeas. They're shrubs that were grown into small trees. They're more like topiaries. They only get about 6 to 8 foot tall and wide. This is the limelight that starts off lime green, then it goes creamy white. Absolutely stunning. Here we have the Canada Red Chokecherry, which in the spring starts off with completely green leaves, and then as soon as summer hits, all the foliage goes burgundy. And it keeps burgundy leaves all summer. You can usually buy them at the nurseries as a single stem or a clump form. And it's hardy all the way to zone 2. It's minus 50 degrees. So very hardy, and it adds color rather than just green to the landscape. Here we have the Autumn Blaze Maple, a hybrid between the red and the silver maple. It has all the pros of both trees and none of the cons. It's a very vigorous grower like the silver maple, but sturdy branch structures like the red maple. So it does not have invasive seeds nor invasive roots, but a very vigorous grower and a wonderful yard tree with deep red fall foliage. That maxes to about 60 by 40. What we have here is a Bracken's Brown Beauty Southern Magnolia. A southern magnolia that grows a whole zone north than the regular southern magnolia. Instead of just being zone 6 to 10 or 6 to 9, it is zone 5 to 9. It's hardy to minus 20 degrees, broadleaf evergreen. It's also bred for its deeper cinnamon brown undersides. So it's a deep glossy cinnamon with a deep glossy up top with very fragrant white flowers that are known to bloom a little bit earlier than the traditional southern magnolia. Adds a tropical look to the northern landscape.